Lord Windgrace versus Vial Smasher the Fierce. Probably going to be a fast burn deck. We have... yeah. I think we'll keep that. And worst case scenario, we have to go for Demonic Tutor in for a land on turn 2. And then we can get into Wood Elves. Yeah, I'm not too elated about this hand, but... yeah, and then we, of course, get into Avenger of Zendikar, so be intrigued to see if we get absolutely hammered this game. The Vial Smasher is typically a rush deck, like I say. That is a 2/3, 3-mana commander in Rakdos. When you cast the first spell each turn, or whenever you cast your first spell each turn, choose an opponent, and Vial Smasher deals damage equal to that spell's converted mana cost to that player, or a planeswalker that player controls. And it is a partner commander, but 1 versus 1 doesn't allow for partners, unfortunately. I do want to run, Peer and Toothy. So I might be doing some kind of multiplayer game at some point. I'd be intrigued to see if anyone's actually interested in that or not. We won't crack the Arid Mesa yet, because we're hoping for a land here. We do get a land. Unfortunately, it's red, but we can... well, we'll play that. And then we're going to have to crack Demonic Tutor anyway. We'll go for Command Tower, I think. Now that I think about it, we could just Wood Elves, Tiger... yeah, why don't we just go for Cinderglade? We'll go for Cinderglade and not bother cracking the Demonic Tutor. We'll just get down Tech Edge next turn and go in for Wood Elves. Lord Windgrace is a 5-mana Jund commander, comes out with 5 loyalty and a +2 of discard a card and draw a card. If you discard a land, you draw 2 instead. -3 is reanimate 2 lands. And -11, destroy up to 6 non-land permanents and you get 6/2/2 green cat warriors. With Forest Walk, that won't be relevant this game. We'll just get down the forest, and we need to get into some black mana here, so we will throw down Wood Elves. That is going to fix our mana somewhat, but it also will get down a chump blocker for us. We'll just get down a tapped Shockland here. We don't want to be dealing ourselves any damage if we can help it this game. Okay, down comes Sword of Feast and Famine. That will give our opponent protection from black and green, which is 2 of our colours. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. We can go for... I'm just going to look over at my deck list here. I know this is cheating in a way, but I want to see if we have... yeah, we do have Cross and Grip in the deck. It's the problem, when you play so many different decks, you lose track of what you have in what deck. So what we're going to do here is just go for Demonic Tutor. We're going to grab ourselves a Cross and Grip. Well, we could get a Rex Sage. I'm sure we have Rex Sage. I'm just, as the deck loads up, I'm looking over at my other screen here. Surely we have a Reclamation Sage. Surprisingly we don't have Reclamation Sage. We'll just go for Cross and Grip, it's no problem. All we will do is wait for our opponent to equip that. And then in response to the equip, that will use 2 of their 3 mana. Okay, they are going for the equip. I'll just wait for them to go to the beginning of combat. Yeah, they may well drop a land and get something else down here, but I think that Sword of Feast and Famine is a worthwhile target for the Cross and Grip, no matter what they get down now. They could go for a Sol Ring or something like that, but they don't. Still 7 cards in hand by our opponent, and they opted not to swing in anyway, which is curious. We can go for Scape Shift. We could go for Scape Shift onto... yeah, we could just sacrifice Tech Edge for a what is it called? Thespian Stage. Yeah, I don't think I mind that. It's not the greatest scape shift anyone's ever done. Why don't we go for a couple of different things then? We're going to need 2 green. We could get Valakut out of our deck as well. Yeah, well let's just go for it. So this will be a Thespian Stage, a Valakut, and yeah, I think that'll do. So down they come, and then we just throw it back over to our opponent. The reason that we went and got Thespian Stage there is because we can pay 2 and tap it. It can then become a copy of Dark Depths, and it will become a copy of Dark Depths without any counters on it, and our opponent sees that. Yeah, clearly a little bit of a bonus video, this one. They weren't as aggressive as a Vial Smasher deck likes to be, so I don't know why they weren't swinging into a Wood Elves. But yeah, we would have gotten a copy of Dark Depths without any counters on it, which means we would have gotten next turn a 20/20 Flying Indestructible. And if they don't have any means of exile, which, yeah, black decks don't typically tend to run much exile. Both black and red do have some exile, but exile in a 20/20 in red isn't a likely occurrence, and black you just don't tend to run exile effects anyway. So yeah, that was that, and I hope you enjoyed it. On to the next one. Lord Windgrace versus Emmara, Soul of the Accord. No green mana, so unfortunately, gonna have to throw that away. That is... well, hopefully it's alright. We can get into... well, that's a 4th land. We're gonna draw into that, so we'll just go for... yeah, we can go for the forest. There's no sense in cracking Windswept Heath too soon. We can always go for that to grab some black mana if we feel as though we need it, but right now we'll go for the mountain into the Nature's Law, and we'll grab ourselves... I think we'll want an Overgrown Tomb as a tap land. Yeah, we'll go for Overgrown Tomb in tapped. The Cinderglade is what I was thinking of, but that will come in untapped, so always want to get down your potential tap lands in first in the early game, as opposed to just going straight for your dual sources that come in untapped. Felwar Stone is more ramp for us. That is fine with me. We'll go Felwar Stone, and then there's nothing else we can get going there. We have 3, 4, 5 mana. I'll still hold off on cracking the Windswept Heath, because if we draw into another land next turn, then we might want to go for... it might dictate what we go for, is what I'm trying to say. Emmara, Soul of the Accord, is getting her ability down straight away. That is... whenever she becomes tapped, you create a 1/1 white soldier token with lifelink. She's a 2/2 for 2 mana. And our opponent does have this, not the Sol Ring, the Skull Clamp in play. And they can clamp their soldier if they want to, just for the card draw. They have Smuggler's Copter, which is a means of tapping down Emmara. They're down to 4 cards in hand. I wonder if... I think it might be worth... yeah, we're going to crack this. We can get it back with Titania anyway. I think just to slow our opponent down, we'll go for Bayou here. I think we're going to Damnation. Just to slow our opponent down a little bit. We'll pretend to... yeah, we'll pretend to hold up a Lightning Bolt. Don't think our opponent's going to play around a Lightning Bolt, but you never know. Now what I'm hoping is that our opponent can't recast Emmara until they draw into another land, and it seems as though that's the case. What they can do is get closer to a land drop with Smuggler's Copter. This will loot every time it attacks or blocks. Smuggler's Copter is a very good card. There they go, they get their land drop, so they can get Emmara down next turn. Stomping Ground is... We're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. If we get Titania down, we'll be on 7 next turn, so why don't we... Titania comes down and she gets us a land back from our graveyard. We'll say no to that. And we can crack Windswept Heath in response, just in case they make an error in swinging in. I don't think they're going to, but things like that do happen sometimes. We might be able to get a creature. Another ability on Priest of Titania, for anyone who doesn't know, when a land you control dies, you get a 5/3 green elemental creature token. She is a very good commander on her own, but we don't have anywhere near the number of shenanigans to make her as powerful as she actually is in this deck, because we have to spread ourselves pretty thinly across all the different lands matter tactics. It's the same with Omnath. Omnath is a good commander on his own, and we don't have any of the sack outlets to make Omnath as good as it can be. Okay, animating the Smuggler's Copter and then clamping the Saproling that our opponent made. We'll draw them 2 cards, take them up to 5. Not getting down there Emmara again. They are potentially going to tap out their creatures here, so we could get 10 damage in on our opponent. Getting rid of that Skull Clamp would be... yeah, that would be really good for us. The lower we get their life total down, the more devastating the Torment of Hailfire will be for them. They'll either have to lose 3 life X times, sacrifice a non-land permanent X times, or discard X cards. Okay, Green Sun Zenith for 1. It's probably a Mana Dork. Now, I'd be intrigued to see if they clamp it or if they just hold it up for blocking on Titania. Or they might not even block, they might just be setting up for next turn, making sure that they have enough mana to do whatever it is they're planning to do. Don't think I've been Overlord Windgrace yet either. 5 mana Jund Commander, 5 loyalty. +2 is discard a card and draw a card. Draw 2 cards if you discard a land. And -3, reanimate 2 lands. -11, destroy up to 6 non-land permanents. Get 6 2/2 cats with Forest Walk. Okay, Jiraga Tree Speaker is a good mana dork to get into. We are going to grab, I don't think we have any more shocks left. We'll get our 5/3 elemental. I think it is worth getting down the Dryad Arbor. It is susceptible to board wipes, but it's also a land that has summoning sickness. And I'd hate to lose this game. Yeah, okay, they go for Path to Exile. Nothing we can do about that. So we'll just use this as ramp. We'll get into our basic swamp. And then Vandal Blast is nice. What do we want to do here? Much as I'd want to get down Omnath, I think that Skull Clamp is getting them too much value, as is the Smuggler's Copter. So I think we just overload here. And then we can swing in with our 5/3. This is just a free point of damage, or a free 5 points of damage, I imagine. And yep, our opponent does not block with the Jiraga Tree Speaker. They can get down their commander here and tap it with the Celestia Evangel. This is 1 and tap an untapped creature you control to get a Saproling. That's where the Saproling previously came from that got clamped. Mox Amber comes down, still 2 cards in hand. And yeah, just 2 points of damage for our opponent. Splendid Reclamation only gets us 1 land. So why don't we just go in for Omnath. Omnath gets us 5/3 elementals as well. Oh no, it doesn't. It's 5/5 elementals from Omnath, and that is with landfall. And then whenever an elemental we control dies, we lightning bolt something. So we have potentially 6 damage to throw around, assuming that we see a board wipe at any point. But I'm hoping that we can... We'll probably get into Lord Windgrace next turn and either discard a land or the Splendid Reclamation. And I dare say our opponent's aim is to go wide on us, so hopefully they don't get into a Beastmaster Ascension or Crater Hoof, something like that. They may well have something sat in their hand, waiting for the Alpha Swing. E-Witness gets back Skull Clamp, which is not good for us. And the more permanents they get out, the less good Torment of Hailfire is. Okay, just going over our opponent's turn there, they went for a Heritage Druid with Green Sun Zenith. And they do have the elves to tap that down for 3 mana. They've got Skull Clamp back out with Eternal Witness. Noteworthy that they've played a Dust Ball. This is 3 tap and sacrifice a land to destroy a non-basic land. And they are at 3 cards in hand. They've also just got down a Glare of Subdual, which is actually relevant. They can create more dorks than we can, and therefore tap down our creatures. They're tapping down our Felwar Stone and our Dryad Arbor during our upkeep, so that's 2 of our mana. I think Regrowth onto Vandal Blast, we're constantly seem to be on the back foot in this game, but keeping them off that Skull Clamp is, yeah, that's really something that I want to do. Or we could just go for Damnation. Yeah, why don't we Damnation instead? I think that switches off Mox Amber, and their commander will cost 6. They do actually have 6, but they'd have no means of tapping it down. Yeah, I think we just need to go in for 10 points of damage here. They most likely block with Eternal Witness. They don't, so that's just a free 10 points of damage. Let's grab ourselves a Damnation. Really don't like Skull Clamp being left around, but we get way more value off a Damnation. We also get to deal 6 points of damage to our opponent this way. We also lose a mana from Dryad Arbor though. And there we go. We can Splendid Reclamation the Dryad Arbor back, and we would also get our Windswept Teeth back in that deal. Torment of Hailfire would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5. Maybe 6 if we draw into a land next turn. They've only got 1 card to discard at this point. They may well draw into some more. Yeah, they clamp their Lotus Cobra. And they're going to have some cards to discard if they want to. Yeah, they go for Clamp onto Oracle of Muldiah. They've gotten a hell of a lot of value from that Skull Clamp this game. Alright, Verdant Catacombs. We can either go for a land and set up, and then go for Splendid Reclamation and try and set up a decent Torment of Hailfire, but I don't know how many cards they're going to draw to Skull Clamp next turn. That's the only problem. As it stands now, we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They could discard 3 and a couple of lands or a Mox Amber. Yeah, it's not really worth it to go for it right now. Let's just go for Lord Windgrace. And we can... I just want to draw some cards, I think. And hope that we draw into a land. We get Ancient Tomb, and Realms Uncharted is relevant, especially with Splendid Reclamation in play. How many... yeah, we only have 2 mountains, unfortunately. Well, we can try for Valakut anyway, or we could go for Cabal Coffers and Urborg. Let's see, if they deal 3 damage to Lord Windgrace with Oracle of Muldiah, that will knock it down to 4. And then we can still -3 and grab back whatever's thrown in the bin with Realms Uncharted. I think we're going to use Cabal Coffers and Urborg to set up a big Torment of Hailfire. Yeah, they're getting even more card draw. And they're at such a low life total now that they can only take 3 damage from Torment of Hailfire twice. Which means then they'll be into the discarding cards and sacrificing permanence territory. And when did this promo get released? I've only just seen this. Return a forest you control to its owner's hand, untap target creature. I didn't know that there was a promo of this. This is... I really like the fact that in Magic Online you tend to be able to... you tend to have more access to the older cards with a new frame on them like this, and I do prefer that. Not necessarily the new artwork, but the actual frame. I don't like the older frames that, like the brown artifacts, for instance, I'm not a huge fan of. So yeah, I really like it when I find new cards like this. Or new frames for old cards, I should specify. Okay, our opponent has just decided that they have got to go all of a sudden. I don't know if that's genuine, or if they have just decided that they weren't going to get... I mean, I imagine it's genuine because they're actually up to a decent point in the game. They've got a decent board state. They've managed to stabilise a few times after a couple of board wipes, which is impressive. The Skull Clampers really kept them in this game. But that's a shame that they've just suddenly quit like that. And then they don't concede. This is what always... Jund versus Jund. Lord Windgrace versus Gyrus, Waker of Corpses. Gyrus. I'm not sure how you say that, but these are 2 commanders from the 2018 set, and these are from the same decks as each other. We'll go over them soon. I don't want to leave my opponent sat around waiting. We'll go for Cinderglade first. Not sure how soon we're going to get into basic lands, so we'll get that down tapped. We always have the option of shocking in Stomping Ground if we need to. Okay, Sakura Tribelder. Looks like our opponent is on the ramp plan, just like us. We'll go for our Bloodstained Maya. And we'll throw the turn back at that. Bloodstained Maya is most likely going to be a tapped... What is that card called? I get all the lands mixed up. Overgrown Tomb is the word I'm looking for. I was thinking Godless Shrine, but we're not in white, as you are all well aware. Lord Windgrace is a 5-mana Jund commander for 5 loyalty. Discard a card, then draw a card. If you discard a land, you draw 2 cards. -3 is reanimate 2 lands. And then you can destroy up to 6 non-land permanents and create 6 Forest Walking Cats for -11. And I haven't been over my opponent's commander yet either, and that is in play quite early on. Enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. When it attacks, exile a target creature with less power than it from your graveyard. If you do, create a token copy of it, tapped and attacking, and then exile it at the end of combat. So they are going to get themselves a copy of Sakura Tribelder and get themselves into even more mana. And then I think we just go for Maelstrom Pulse, because they're going to get value out of their commander here. If they get to swing in and grab a copy of Sakura Tribelder, then they'll be halfway to recasting the commander anyway. As it stands now, it's going to cost them at least 3, 4, 5... Yeah, 5 mana, including command attacks. And then anything that they want to put into X. And that is a nice looking land. Don't know if I've seen that one before. Yeah, there we go. So they don't put anything into X. They just pay the command attacks on that. We can go for Yeah, we can go for Primeval Titan here. Primeval Titan can grab us some stuff. Yeah, I'm not actually sure what exactly we want to get. We could just go for Cabal Coffers and Urborg. An argument to be made for the Dark Depths and Thespian Stage combo there, just so we can try and get a fast win in on our opponent. But I'm not sure they're going to want to swing in to us here because it will die to the Primeval Titan. We do have Assassin's Trophy for our opponent. They may have spot removal for Primeval Titan. Okay, they have Mindless Automaton, that is card draw, I think. Remove 2 +1/+1 counters to draw a card. Okay, they've discarded Filth, and that will put a +1/+1 counter on Mindless Automaton. And then they remove 2 and keep a plus counter on it to draw a card. That means that they can proliferate. I don't know if they have any proliferate in this deck because it's the first time I've played this commander. Okay, they are deciding to swing in. See if there's an ability on here that I'm... No, there's no Death Touch. Right? Ah, they have Swamp Walk thanks to Filth. Yes, of course. Filth, when it's in the graveyard, gives your creature Swamp Walk. And thanks to Urborg, we are all controlling lots of swamps. So I think we definitely need an Assassin's Trophy on that thing. Noteworthy that we do have, if we get into any particular dire straits, we can use Tooth and Nail entwined and go for the Avenger of Zendikar Kraithoof combo. I think I've already done that once on the channel and it's not anything that I find particularly enthralling to do, so I'm not too sure if I want to go for it again. I may well just rip that combo out of the deck. Be intrigued to see what you all think of it actually, because I'm sure the audience is divided on that. Some people will be bored of seeing that, and some people will just be of the winning at all costs mentality. There we go. So we've got 6 mana. We can go Green Warden. I think Green Warden of Marassa onto the Maelstrom Pulse is not terrible. That would mean that it is 4, 5, 6, 7 mana to get their commander out again. They have 2, 4, 6, 7 exactly. But they are having to spend resources to do that. We'll go for Green Warden of Marassa. Okay, well, seen some early scoops today, unfortunately. Believe me, it annoys me more than it annoys any of you. But yeah, they could have recast their commander again, so I'm not sure why they're doing that, but maybe they don't have anything good in their hand, and we could have just destroyed their commander again with Assassin's Trophy anyway. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but there's not a whole heap I can do about it. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one.